Aren't you just sick of toxic gaming? Well, toxic gaming is now being tackled by Ubisoft's unique police alert system, probably as an unlockable DLC with loads of stupid little events all over the fucking map, and it'll be open world, and it'll be a looter shooter probably. Rape jokes, racism, bullying. If you've picked up a controller or scrolled a mouse to dabble in some online gaming, you've likely come across plenty. I've caused plenty. The gaming industry, like others where people interact online, has been trying to figure out how to get to grips with behaviour like this for years. Ubisoft, makers of major franchises like Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, has now signed a first of its kind deal with police to try and tackle the issue for its players. Imagine being arrested for stuff in a video game. The hope is for this agreement to start a conversation within the industry and see if others follow suit. For what reason? Are you going to start arresting people for something spicy they said in a COD lobby? I mean, geez, you're as well as turning the entire COD player base into just a giant open prison. Working with police, online gaming is a joyful experience for millions of people every single day. Maybe not every single day, you know, I'm a dad and all that now. It used to be every day, but hey ho, the future's important. It's a space where friendships are forged and memorable experience shared. During the pandemic, online games were a saviour for many people's mental health. However, its dark side is also plain to see. Abusive behaviour, death threats, and grooming can be found in online gaming spaces. We want to be on the right side of history, says Damien Glorieux, a senior director of the Newcastle-based Ubisoft Customer Relationship Centre. Jesus Christ, I'm just surprised that there's people actually there. It's here and at 4 other locations around the world that staff monitor how players of Ubisoft games are getting on, responding to requests for help and actively getting involved with the communities that have evolved around their titles. They deal with everything from purchasing issues to online toxicity. Other companies have similar setups, but what's unique here is the involvement of local law enforcement. You're going to get snitched on, boys. The deal between the company and Northumbria Police works in 2 parts. Now, in America, this is probably going to have no effect whatsoever. However, here in Britain, where people can get arrested for simply being offensive, yeah, this will be getting used a lot here. Firstly, it sees specialist officers share their knowledge and expertise on harmful online interactions with the 200 strong team working at the centre in Newcastle, who then apply that training to their daily work. Secondly, an agreement is in place so that in extreme cases where there is a threat to life or potential serious harm spotted, staff can fast track the information to the police. Now, stuff like extreme cases where there is a threat to life or potential serious harm, okay, I can understand that, but we all know that that's not where the line's going to get drawn. It's going to be for the wee naughty things you said because you got 360 no scoped, and how the hell did he hit me? How the hell did he hit me? And and in such situations we might say a word or two, words that are illegal in Britain. It is daunting, but at the same time, it is very important, which is why we wanted to sign this deal and try to make things right. We wanted to focus on the most extreme cases, yeah, and I'm sure that's all you wanted to focus on. Make sure we do the right thing there because it gives us a solid foundation to build the rest of our work around. Less than 0.01% of cases that the centre deals with ends up requiring police intervention. I've got a feeling that number is going to get higher. Just have a little feeling. That works out as roughly a handful of cases a month. Most of the time, accounts will be temporarily banned or permanently closed if players have breached a code of conduct. Staff in Newcastle can also recommend the company start legal proceedings in some instances. Threat to life, Andrew Holliday and his team deal with cases that get close to or reach the thresholds for police intervention. This isn't just a gaming problem, it's an internet problem. There's a real appetite to make the whole ecosystem a better place. What we're working on closely with police on is triaging, where we look at a case and decide, right, is this one we can deal with in-house, or is this something we need to pass on? Gaming is global, and some of the cases seen by staff here cross national borders, at which point, see, as soon as it crosses a national border, our police just go, nah, fuck that then. They do that all the time. Holiday tells us about a recent case in Norway saying things were said and behaviours displayed that hit our threshold for intervention. There was a threat to life or serious harm. The agreement with Northumbria Police meant that after we flagged it, even though it wasn't a UK citizen, they were able to get Norwegian authorities involved. It was a lot quicker, more efficient and safer than trying to do it as a private citizen. Some of the staff here argue that the games industry has shied away from talking about the reality of online play for too long. They say it needs to be more open and proactive in talking about the steps being taken to tackle unpleasant, dangerous or threatening behaviour. I'll save it for the end. For Northumbria Police, Detective Chief Superintendent Deborah Alderson has been leading the work with Ubisoft on this agreement. She argues that policing is about prioritising and protecting the vulnerable. That means all of our communities, not just the ones that we see in person, but our online communities as well. I don't know, man. I know some online communities. I've heard of some of them. I don't think they should be protected. Basically, if anyone with a furry avatar messages you and asks you to join their Discord, don't. But anyway, policing changes continually. Demands evolve, and we have different challenges all the time. Our job is to evolve with it. Vital work. Deborah Alderson, whose son is a massive Fortnite fan, thinks work like this is vital as more and more of our lives go online and more people play. She wants this arrangement to be replicated by games companies and other police forces across the UK and is working with Professor of Police Sciences Dr. Gavin Oxborough of Northumbria University to provide a blueprint for how it can be copied by others. The centre in Newcastle was founded in 2014 initially as a call centre to deal with player issues, but now its role has developed significantly since then. The staff clearly care about their work and the agreement with Northumbria Police has been in the pipeline for some time. However, as well as wanting to lead the conversation within the UK industry on tackling harmful online behaviour, there is also a compelling business case for focusing on customer relations. In an increasingly competitive marketplace, keeping people playing your games is harder than ever. They're more likely to stick around if they feel safe and listened to. Actually, they're more likely to stick around if your game is actually genuinely good and you don't do things to fuck with the players. Like, for example, calling the police on them because someone got really, really angry because they died for some bullshit reason and they decided to shout a couple of things into the microphone. That's actually a really good way to get people to stop playing your games. Better unplug my microphone before I play this because I might get a fucking knock at the door. I mean, I would immediately stop playing any game that tried to do that. Because one thing that the police don't deal with very well is they don't understand internet humour. They don't understand that people just sometimes say outrageous shit for the just the sole purpose of saying outrageous shit in the moment. It's not even something they believe. And all that, like, remember dead baby jokes back in the day? How everyone was so appalled by those, but the point of it was just to say an outrageous, horrible thing for the sake of saying it, and the shock of saying it is what made people laugh. Yeah, police don't understand that. They don't understand sarcasm or humour either. Or maybe they do, but they need to get those nice little statistics up, so they'll arrest you anyway. It's been a difficult few months for Ubisoft with games being cancelled and their financial forecast being scaled back. So we've decided to make things worse. Keeping their player base happy is more important than ever. Andy Milmore is the player experience director at the centre and says that when it comes to online behaviour, making people feel safe and secure is their number one goal. Toxicity takes a lot of different shapes, he says. The important thing for us is when you're at home trying to have a good time and relax, our aim is to make sure you're doing that in a safe environment. When someone wants entertainment, they've got a whole host of things they can do, and if you have a bad experience if someone's giving you a bad time online, you're just going to go to one of the other options. One time, right, it's very difficult for me to talk about. I was playing Call of Duty, the new one, which is shit. I haven't touched it in a wee while, it was so bad. But I was playing it, and they introduced hardcore, and I love hardcore mode. That's my favourite mode, because I think when you shoot someone in the chest point blank with a shotgun, they should die, not empty the entire fucking clip into them and the guy just runs away and slides out the fucking door. Like, no, that annoys me. Hardcore mode, love it though. And I was playing hardcore mode, and a guy was saying in the chat, fuck you, Count Dankula, your channel's terrible. Fuck UKIP, because a lot of, unfortunately, leftists don't take in information and they don't know that I left UKIP like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Jesus Christ, I know. So yeah, and then he team killed me, and he kept flashbanging me, and I was very upset. No, I wasn't. I just kept doing it to him back, and then he done it that many times to me that he get kicked out of the game. And see, that didn't bother me at all. I actually found it kind of funny. I like the fact that just me being in the same game as this guy made him have a fucking meltdown. And he was furious, typing in the chat, pure screeching and stuff like that. That, to me, although I realise that I'm very different from everyone else, whereas stuff like that I find really funny. Like, I've been served in places by members of staff who knew who I was and were not happy about it, but they couldn't say anything. And my response is to then get really super friendly. Hey man, how's your day? You all right, man? What time did you finish at? Oh god, long shift. And and he has to reply to me really nicely. I, I don't know why I enjoy that so much. Or the guy for fucking Smith's Toys that tweeted out that he was going to beat me up because apparently I destroyed his display when I touched no display. And I went back into the shop and I just stared at the guy the entire time. And I maybe shouldn't have done that. That was maybe a bit threatening. I wasn't going to do anything. There was cameras. But yeah, just stuff like that. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. I find it funny because I think it's because I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of like people giving me shit online or people giving me shit in public. But again, not everyone's like that, and for some people it does bother them. But I'll wait to the end before I say the solution. There is a solution. However, Ubisoft is not alone, with the cost of living crisis likely to impact more gaming companies in the coming months. It may be another reason why more people in the industry take an interest in how this partnership works and develops. No one who works in this field expects a quick fix to the problem that has plagued online life since its inception, but here is one company's attempt to make games joyous every time people press play. And it seems that that's the end of the article. Yeah, you can block and mute people. There you are, problem solved. That's what I do. You know, you never been in a game where you've got some stupid screecher. I don't know what it is, right? It's this automatic thing where, see if I'm playing a game and it's like a lobby or it's like or just something that has voice. See, as soon as I hear anyone that sounds around 10 years old, even if they just say something like normal, where it's like, oh, there's a guy in there, there's a guy in that room, don't go in that room, or whatever, and I hear he sounds like a child, I immediately mute him, because I just assume instantly that he's going to be dead annoying. I'm just like, nah, just mute it right away, like, nah, no thanks. Or whenever you get those guys that are like, into their fucking microphone and you can hear their mum and dad arguing in the background and all that stuff, those guys, like, I just mute the microphone. Or if there's anybody that's like sending me messages that I don't like, well, what I usually do is I make fun of them and all that, and I have a nice little back and forth. But what you can do is you just block them. Someone being mean to you online, mute them. Someone sending you mean messages, mute them. Or you can block players now. Some games just let you block the player. And this is the part I didn't know. I thought it blocked them from contacting you. Apparently, with some games, not all, apparently it stops you from ever going into a lobby with that person again. But there's usually that many people playing the game that you don't really notice it, or really, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it stops you if you ever going into a lobby with that person again. Not all games, but there's some games out there where that's the case. And like I said, see, when it comes to like online things, like even the grooming thing as well, Jesus Christ, parents, look at what your kid's doing online. I say this all the time. Like, you're the parent, you're responsible, it's your job, right? And I always bring this point up with my nieces. Whenever I go in and I talk to my niece about computers all the time. She's starting to build her own PC and stuff like that, and she plays loads of online games, and I'm kind of terrified I might have turned her into me. I've went in and tried to have conversations with her a few times where she's been on the computer. She's like 12 or something, and then she's just like, yeah, yeah, looking at the screen the whole time, not listening to a word that I've just said to her. And I walk out the room like, huh, so that's what that's like. Man, but I always say, oh, who's that? But whenever I see a box pop up, and my sister does that as well, whenever I see a box pop up, I'm like, oh, who's that? Oh, that's Kaylee, she's from my school. And I'm like, all right, okay. And Evan, just a wee quick question, that's all it was. Just asking who that was. Because those are the type of questions you're supposed to ask. Because if it's Kaylee for your school, and she's like 12, 13, same age as you, not a problem, absolutely fine. But if it's Big Alan, 45, horny male 42 or whatever his username is, yeah, there's a little bit of a problem then, isn't it? However, how am I supposed to know? Go in and check. You're the parents. It's literally your fucking job. Is my child being groomed online? Go on their computer and fucking check and see. Go on and have a look. Talk to your child about it. Teach your child about the warning signs. Don't sit there on the couch with your little Lambrini balanced on your fucking baby pouch that's still there because your fat ass won't go to the gym, but I'm sure climate change is to blame somehow, right? Go and do your fucking job as a parent instead of sitting there going, no, the government, I don't want to get up from this couch, the government should raise my kids. No, go do it your fucking self, right? See, when it comes to grooming, you're the parent. You be vigilant. You check. It's your job. And when it comes to like getting bullied in online fucking games, mute them, block them. There you are. Problem solved instantly. Right? See all this? We're liaising with the police. We're teaming up. We're the bully hunters. Fuck, the bully hunters are back. The bully hunters are teaming up with the police because all these people are complaining because they're too stupid to understand how the fucking block button works.